So as always, if you rate me 5 stars and roast me in the comments, I will read it live on air. Live on air is how you describe podcasts, right? All right, this is from Andrew91. Gabrus gave me AIDS, and I love it.
That's not necessarily negative.
No, it's not. It sounds positive.
He's happy.
He is definitely HIV positive.
Yeah, it's very HIV positive review. If you leave me an HIV positive review or a negative review overall, I will read it on air. Andrew91 definitely means he was born in 1991, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the trick on Snapchat. If a girl sends you her tits and her name's like Diane,
What's the cutoff age? Because 91, that's pretty old now, right?
91 sounds way younger, but I guess it is 25.
Jesus, yeah, you could look at his tits or dick all day.
Hey, Andrew91, send your AIDS dick to me, please, in a fucking shipping container. This is from podcast listener number 23. Jon Gabrus talks to some losers for like an hour every week. He looks like a fuckboy ate Jack Black. High and mighty, more like guy is whiny. I want my money back. 5 stars, you're one of the funniest improvisers of 2016.
All right.
What weird to go by years for improvisers.
Well, you weren't up there in 2014.
I really turned around. I finally get game, and I'm really good at setting up the who, what, where of improv. I finally reached improv status. Thank you. Oh, here's a good one. This is from Skeletor the Brave. Chris Farley's retarded stunt double eats Chinese food live on mic. 5 out of 5. Never miss an episode.
That's great.
Why does Chris Farley need a stunt double right now?
Well, I think he's saying based on he might have seen some of my medical records.
Got
and
it.
he knows
Okay.
I'm on my way out. Oh, God. Retarded stunt double, I will take as still a high compliment.
Yeah.
Any comparison to Chris Farley, I'll take, obviously. Someone once called me a combination of Chris Farley and Fran Drescher, and I thought it was like one of the highest compliments. Oh, here we go. This is from Inferno Brett. This podcast is perfect for you if you're riding the last train to Long Island out of Penn Station on a Saturday night, eating your 6th sandwich of the hour and guzzling Tecates with a bleach blonde Hofstra grad who works at Walmart. This is hyper specific.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like a dream come true.
I know.
It really does sound perfect.
Yeah, the last train, you mean the 410 or the 344?
Oh,
because the
shit.
344, the 410 you got to change at Jamaica. The 344 is at least a direct Babylon line. At least if I remember from 10 years ago riding the train.
Deep pull.
I'm going to Long Island next week, and I couldn't be more excited. This is from Odin42. Jort Garbanzo likes to ramble on endlessly about weed, porn, and his dead dad, and somehow thinks it's entertaining. Love you on Improv for Humans and this show, too. Oh, a little Improv for Humans show.
Yeah. Like,
Besser would be proud.
I know. He's like, yeah. Good job, Gabrus.
Excellent work, Gabrus.
Spread the brand.
This is from AJ Curry 52. The subject line is, why does he do this to himself? If reading the episode titles makes you think that half-human, half-garbage truck host Jim Jarmusch might have a wide base of knowledge and interests, you're sadly mistaken. Though he blathers on and on to his guests like he's an expert, Jim's actually just uninformed as his accent would make you assume. 5 stars, never miss an episode. Wow, a little shot at my old Long Island accent there.
Yeah.
Huh?
I also like, I don't know if listeners ever realize this, but you clicked that the review was helpful.
Yes.
You're like, yep, this was helpful.
I'm going to be earnest. Honest and earnest.
That's like my favorite, like, semi roast is like fucking up someone's name.
Okay.
All right, this is from Dan Jakes, and he says, listen as John vastly overestimates his standing in the gay community. 5-star show, 4.5-star bod. The title of the review is Don't Bears Have Muscles? I guess I refer to myself as a bear every once in a while.
Yeah, I think you would totally count as a bear. You're
listen,
like the classic bear.
Yeah, Dan, let me just tell you that I've been, trust me, I live in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm a bear, baby. All right, this is from Me Post Punk. If the Biggest Loser in Jersey Shore had a baby, then Jon Gabrus ate that baby, you'd have Jon Gabrus. 5 stars. I like a classic old school movie pitch, blank meets blank.
Yeah, no, that was nice.
It's a great way to cut someone down. You're sort of like Vincent Price, but gayer. You're like, ouch. Okay. Oh shit! This is actually a positive review. Sorry, man. Can't read it out loud.
So it has to be. It's got to be.
It's got to be negative. Yeah, I don't even want to hear positive shit. I don't need it anymore. I'm a fucking narcissistic machine.
Right. This is good. It keeps it even.
Yeah. All right. This is from CoolSean.com. I'm just hoping John will read this and we'll get to hear him say hot dog water in his dopey accent. Love the show. Never miss an episode. All right, CoolSean.com. Here you go. Hot dog water.
Nice.
I literally was shooting a pilot where it was about missing dogs, and I kept saying, like, we got to find that dog. And the director was like, dog. I'm like, dog.
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 I felt like the Simpsons coffee beer joke. Here we go. This is from Ron Douglas. The title of it is Meh, and it says, if I run out of podcasts, I listen to this. Sometimes it's the honesty that hurts the most. Because, like, all he's saying is, he's a listener. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I get that vote. I get that fucking count. I get that one rep, but it doesn't matter.
It does, yeah. That one's too real.
Yeah.
Too a little too real.
This is from Draft a Review. I found these episodes very difficult to jerk off to, but I'll keep trying if he keeps producing new content. At least give me a countdown, for Christ's sake. 5 out of 5. Would recommend to a friend if I had any. Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wait, what? So what's his beef? Why can't he jerk off to him?
I don't know.
There's not enough of them coming out.
Maybe.
You're pretty you're consistent,
Or
right?
they come out every Thursday morning.
Thursday.
Does this guy need like over an hour and 10 minutes to jerk off to?
Yeah, maybe he's one of those guys that he
just-
needs a countdown for him to jerk off.
Oh yeah, he needs me to be like, and on 3, come on 3, 2, 1, and ejaculate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You might have gotten him.
All right, so actually, I'll take this feedback honestly, and I will start to include a countdown for anyone who's masturbating to the podcast.
I mean, this is.
All right, everyone, climax, and now on to the reviews.
I mean, careful. This is going to happen now.
This is from C. Sherman 2197, and the title is "Fat Man Tries to Be Funny." If you're 13 and you want to be a rebel and listen to an obese Jew chew into a microphone while his friends sit there and be polite, then this is the perfect podcast for you. One listen and you will need to immediately turn it off because the majority of the episodes are either host Joe Goobgross laughing at himself or two bears having sex. It's really hard to tell. 5 stars, great show. Listen every week. Wow. Okay, now, not to nitpick here, but I am not a Jew.
No.
I may be a disgusting monster that eats into the microphone, but I am not a Jew. Do not call me a Jew. You can call me anything you want, but don't you fucking call me a Jew.
Yeah, that's the only thing I disagreed with. Too.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard
I'm
it, I was
just not a Jew. There's
Yeah.
nothing I can do about it.
Haven't those people
like, I
suffered
mean, there is
enough?
something you could do.
Yes, you're true. I could become a Jew.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little late in my career to make that shift.
Is it a
I'm not
career
ready for that
choice? Is it a
success.
career thing?
I'm not ready for the success that comes with that.
Jesus.
All right, so let's get into some reviews. This first one is called Self-Indulgent from Redbird Fuckboy. Self-indulgent, that is a given. All right, Jon Gabrus spews his racist cholesterol into the mic, talking over his guests as they try to politely ignore the sour smell emanating from his shingle-ridden boss-nass physique. Love the show, never miss an episode. Who's Boss Nass? Do you know who that is?
No, I think, is it like a play of business?
No, it's BOSS space NASS.
Oh,
So I feel like
Boss
it's someone
Nass.
who's a disgusting fat person. That's what I'm
Nass.
guessing. Probably from a video game, it sounds like. All right, here's one from Don Juan Cripset. Great name, by the way.
Yeah.
If you can't stand the sound of a man wheezing into a microphone in desperate need of Advair, look no further than Job Gargle. He's the man you don't want to sit next to on the LIRR because he's inevitably eating from the halal cart at 3 a.m. Enjoy listening to Gob Jobris recant jacking off as a child and an adult. 10 out of 10, bring back McKeebs.
McKeebs.
Oh, I love the shout out to bring back McKeebs, guys. Long live McKeebs, a bar I bartended at 15 years ago at this
Wow.
point. And it's closed.
Old school.
Old school is right. This is a long one. All right. Jon Gabrus is one of the most utterly disturbing human beings I've had the misfortune of knowing exists. Him and the guy that owns every Now That's What I Call Music cassette and CD are tied for first. Listening to him and his Long Island accent struggle to try to grasp the English language enough to put together an hour-long podcast is at times mildly funny, but mostly horrifying. Waiting with bated breath every time he pauses to subdue his indigestion, caused by what I'm guessing is chicken parm sandwich number 5 for the day, leaves me yearning for the day when his death rattle finally sticks. The only respite I receive when I realize he hasn't finally succumbed to his poor diet and life choices is that he hasn't fallen over on poor Arthur and crushed the little fella. Oof. Your podcast and your appearances on Comedy Bang Bang provide needed laughter. Okay. Thank you. Huge fan, 5 stars.
Huge fan, 5 stars.
Yeah, that's another running trend is that at the end you just tag it with a quick compliment like, listen every episode. But, man, that one hits pretty close to home.
Yeah.
Although I am on a diet, so I just had poke bowl number 1, sub rice for seaweed.
What is that?
Poke is like Hawaiian ceviche, more or less. It's like raw fish in like a citrus sauce. All right, here's another one. This is from that crate. That long ass one was by I Get Paid by Your Taxes. Bong. Okay, don't get that at all. Here we go. It's so refreshing that there are still buffoons like Jon Gabrus who will speak incorrectly on almost any topic with the confidence of someone who actually understands how facts and logic work. Religion, politics, comedy, he knows nothing about any of these. But we'll bring in people who understand the subject just so he can interrupt them with stupid stories that alternate between sad and disgusting. The three topics he does seem to be an expert in are drinking, gambling, and overeating.
That's great.
Yeah, and he's not wrong. So here's to Hollywood's least favorite, slovenly, belligerent fuckboy. May you find another unfulfilling, ultimately pointless career opportunity very soon. 5 stars. All right, here's a longer review from Infamous Alex, and the title is The Show is on Life Support. There's no possible way this show could go on for much longer. How could it? If the premise is based on the stuff Gabrus knows about and enjoys, as he says, it would have ended long ago. But I think even he is beginning to realize the podcast is a reflection of his life. It's a metaphorical, unfinished book report presentation in which he manages to scrape by with a D just because he spoke with some level of confidence in his voice, despite the fact he's only ever heard of books. You can't eat books, so why bother? Yes, this show is a perfect example of Trump-style speech-making. Knowing what you're talking about means nothing as long as you speak like you know everything. It also helps if you sound like a combination of Fran Drescher and Ralphie May. When people hear that type of buffoonish accent, they think, let's humor the man, baby, and act like what he's saying makes sense. If someone was doing a presentation on what's wrong with America, they could just put this talking gunt on stage and let him prattle on about chalupas and porn for 65 minutes. Somehow, one of the most gluttonous, aberrant men in podcasting also manages to be the most shameless, honest, and personable men in internet fake radio, which is exactly why this is one of my favorites. Yes, he's an obese, stoned, drunk, white, fat moron, but so am I. It's like looking in the comedy mirror. The world needs more equal opportunity, insensitive, racial, religious, etc. humor, and the world could definitely use more honesty along with more hilarious, all right, blah, blah, blah. It gets nice, but it ends with, fuck you, Jeb Garbo. Thank you, Infamous Alex. I will say, though, it's supposed to be a roast, and you called me white in there, and that's one of the highest compliments you could pay someone.
Yikes.
You're supposed to be roasting me, but I do appreciate being referred to as white.
I'm so excited.
This is from, the title of this is The Lowest of the Low by Wissy. Jon Gabrus's podcast, High and Mighty, might as well be called Sweaty Guy Breathing Heavily into the Mic. I just burped in the middle of that. Great. Gabrus quite literally embodies the trash that is Long Island, which you understand upon hearing the first minutes. Gabrus also gives the Grand Canyon an inferiority complex. Love the show. Never miss an episode.
Wait, so Riddle, I'm purposely staying away from your screen, also so I can keep the mic in this nice place. But is that person going back and forth between Gabrus and Gabrus?
No, I think they. One of the things that these guys do is purposely spell my name wrong. I think a lot because they know it's like a little issue of mine that. So people write Garbus a lot. Garbage, Grabus, Grabus, any kind of variation without hitting the Gabrus that I love so much. I don't get the... So do I give the Grand Canyon an inferiority complex? I can't even say that word. Inferiority?
Well, it brings out, what did he say, that Long Island garbage? And inferiority.
Inferiority. You say it without me saying it. Superiority.
Superiority.
Inferiority?
Inferiority. Now you're making me want to say Moriarty.
Now, yeah.
Or Jeff Boyardy.
Chef Boyardee?
Chef Boyardee.
Jeff Boyardee. He's Chef's brother. He's a plumber.
Yeah, that's who
My
I've been
brother
dating.
went to CIA, and here I am, just a fucking plumber. Jeff Boyardee.
I'm not even high.
Not yet. The night's a puppy, Cena. All right, this one is called Johnny Boy, We're Worried About You from Captain Freedom, sorry. I remember Gabrus as just being kind of big from old College Humor videos. Thought he was emphasizing his weight pretty hard for humor. Yesterday I followed him on Snapchat. Oh no. Oh boy.
What's funny though is that you probably just wrote that to promote your Snapchat.
Yeah. Good point. He brings up my Snapchat, so let's throw out my Snapchat. Of course, is Snap Gabrus. Check me out there. It's mostly pictures of wings that I'm cooking. This is from Lost My Necklace, and the review says, I had a dream last night where I was trying to explain the comedy of Jon Gabrus to a black man and a gay man. It didn't go well. Wow, all right.
Okay.
That just seems like an honest criticism more than a real roast.
Yeah.
Also, I would say I have some black comedy fans and some gay comedy fans, for sure.
I think you do.
I think for sure. I think the gay fans are here for a different reason, because they're usually the bear chasers. I'm sure there's gay people who insist on listening to three guys talk about Predator as well. Here we go. This is from DeBarge. I meant to subscribe to Doughboys, accidentally downloaded this instead. It's self-indulgent, disorganized ramblings from Josh Groban and his useless comedian friends, in quotes, comedian friends. 5 stars, would listen again. So another thing.
Josh Groban.
So another thing is that they misspell my name. Because I think I said once that I didn't like being called Garbus, because it happens a lot. And now everyone does it.
Right.
So I guess I maybe should do, and like, you'll see, a lot of them, here's a classic. This is from Capper. This Long Island meatball talks about stuff. That's all. Seriously. Awesome show, 5 stars. How do you feel about the use of the term Long Island meatball as someone who is a fan of Long Island meatball?
Yes, my husband is a bit of a meatball, also from Long Island.
Former guest Dan Black from the Long Island episode.
Yeah, I really embrace the term meatball.
It's like a positive.
It feels
meetup.
positive.
It's between like guy and douchebag. So here we go. This is from Liberello. The title is Eager to Profit Off the Racial Divide.
Okay.
This guy knows me too well. Eager to profit off of Trump's victory as soon as possible, he now introduces all of his improv characters as emboldened. I wish the opposite were true for actor, comedian, and person who concerns mothers everywhere, Jon Gabrus. Despite his podcast's critical failure and aimless nature, he somehow manages to claw his way back into the studio week after week to hold court with the shitheads. For that, we salute him. Thanks, John. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that could have been shittier.
Yeah, I mean, I am classically emboldened. This is from Buildwell. Oh, hold on, here we go. This is from Matt Dallas Rocks My Socks. As a woman of color, there is a very short list of white men that I'm allowed to like. Gabrus is not on that list. Great podcast, 5 stars. Wow. A female POC taking a shot at old Uncle Gabrus. Well, guess I have something to say to you. Tirade against women of color. That would be an awful time to start a podcast. All right, this is from number 2 fuckboy. I am still a virgin, live with my parents, and collect Power Rangers toys. Yet I still feel like I'm not as much of a loser as JJ Gumrust. Can't get enough of this podcast, 5 stars.
I like that one.
Yeah, me too. That's a good... One of the running bits is that they all say my name wrong.
Okay.
There was a great... someone tweeted at me, I guess Gilbert Gottfried has an Earwolf podcast now.
Yeah.
And he was doing a plug for Hal, and I have a Hal series. And he's like,
Uh-oh.
tons of great guests, like Jon Gabrus. And it's like the most butchered version of my name.
Gabrus.
Affleck. I was just so excited to have him say my name.
Exactly. Now I want to plug my show. Be here.
Improv for humans. All right, here's the last one. Jon Gabrus, with the inflated self-regard that his podcast listeners are so familiar with, recently compared himself with honey or salmon because he's so popular with bears. While bears do eat honey and salmon, what he apparently doesn't realize is that there is a food that is a more accurate comparison, which bears not only devour, but roll around on and fight over. Rotten whale carcasses. Top 10 podcast. All right.
Is that true, though?
About-
I hope they're not just making up facts for an insult.
It feels specific to polar bears, if anything, because they're
You
kind
roll
of
around in it.
that feels weird.
I want to fact check this insult. Because although I do agree if it is true.
Build Will's statue. I'll come back and see what. I'll fact check your insult and come back at you. But yeah,
If
no.
you're going to insult someone, fucking have your analogies be factual.
Yeah, if you're pulling in science analogies, they should be from a basis of fact. That's important to analogies. Is that one half of it has to be
Your
clear?
breath stinks like a fire-breathing bear. No.
No.
Bears don't breathe fire.
Would you allow fire-breathing dragon, despite a dragon being a mythical creature?
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. 'Cause that's what we know.
That we
It
know
should
that
be.
about dragons, yes. Whether dragons exist or not is still up for negotiation. Hiding his lack of talent behind his weight. This is how you know it's a High and Mighty podcast, by the way. The garbage truck comes as soon as you start recording.
He's a fan.
He's a huge fan. He's going to come. He's actually been on a few
They're here to
times.
take us
It's
away.
Ben Rogers. If you're looking for a podcast that features a man who rarely finishes sentences, makes too many jokes about his weight, and relies on his guests to ramble about things he claims to be knowledgeable about, you've come to the right place. Love the show and listen to it almost every day.
It's like every podcast.
Yeah. I know a lot of my critiques are like, this guy thinks he's important enough to have a podcast. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's the entire
That's
premise
everyone.
of podcast.
Yeah, this is the first podcast you've heard.
I've leaned in really hard to the self-indulgent part of it, where I literally have friends come on. I choose it's just hey, come be my friend, and I want to talk about this right now. It's such a scumbag move. This is from One Take Jake 90. The title of the review is Bad Show. I wonder whether you'd still be an idiot if you've had enough oxygen at birth. Ouch. How did he know I was born with my umbilical cord around my neck? And that's why I could only come while being choked.
This guy did his research. Yeah.
This guy knows deep.
Calling doctor.
Oh, this is my mother's gyno. One Take Jake, of course.
A 78-year-old man.
I got him good.
He's like, I'm One Take Jake 90.
That clearly is someone who's born in 1992. That's the sad part. I got fucking 25-year-olds taking me to task. All right, this is from Wonder Cunt, and the title is Proceed with Caution. Listening to Jon Gabrus' stream of obese stoner consciousness not only fulfills but exceeds the negative stereotypes of a typical lazy American man. Imagine demonizing Japanese war propaganda except hyperbolized with higher cholesterol. This podcast would be ideal if you were being a victim of sleep deprivation in Guantanamo Bay. 5 stars. Love the podcast. Wow, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of me being a Japanese propaganda cartoon about what's wrong with America.
Was she implying that this would be good torture for people at Guantanamo Bay?
Or to help them go to sleep? I can't tell.
That seems like a good... I think it seems like it'd be torture.
Feel free to chime in and let me know how true they are.
Yeah, sure.
This is from some unpronounceable name, Fadijoviz. Title of the review is R.I.P. Matt Besser. I'll admit, Improv for Humans hasn't been the same since Gabrus ate Besser and the other humans so he could host his own podcast. He even changed the title to commemorate his achievement of being higher in cholesterol and mightier than standard American waistbands. Gotta give it to him, though. His girth is truly impressive. Too lazy to unsubscribe. 5 stars, listen every week. R.I.P. Matty B.
I'll chime in on this. Fake.
Good call.
It's fake.
That is fake.
I hate this fake internet stuff and fake news that's been going around.
Fake news is killing me, dude. This is fake Gabrus news.
Yeah, fake Gabrus news. He didn't eat Besser. I know because Besser emailed me last week.
Yeah, that's another thing. Just so you know, in case you're listening to that review and curious what that means, this is not Improv for Humans that I've taken over where I interview. This is a separate podcast. Improv for Humans is still running. So nice try, asshole. All right, this is from A Space Oddity 3001. The title of the review is, Really? Come listen to this ham-hocked bull run wild through a china shop of delicate topics, such as race, parentheses, other than his, alcoholism, parentheses, his, homosexuality, parentheses, his, and more. Drink every time Jean's body makes noises reflecting its sad state. Or don't, since you'd quickly end up like him. Decent show? Give it a try? ? That one hits a little closer to home.
Yeah.
That one is not fake news. This is as true as Pizzagate.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about. Is the homosexuality his thing? Like,
Yeah,
what's that joke?
I think they're they don't realize how fluid my sexuality is. I don't
Yeah.
think they realize that it doesn't affect
I don't
me.
think this is somebody who studied the Kinsey scale and knows that you're dead center.
I'm just right in the middle.
Bullseye, baby.
I one time had a hat on or something like that, and Rogers was like, "That you actually can pull that off because you're like pansexual." And I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Okay, all right, a little bit. I see that." A Space Oddity, nice try, but I am gay. All right, this is from Bo's Nose or Bow's Nose, the poor man's Gino the intern. Okay, I figured. How this bit player from Bones and Adam Ruins Everything can maintain a podcast following is a mystery. Since his Long Island accent is like nails on a chalkboard, it's like he's doing a horrible impersonation of Gino the intern from Comedy Bang Bang. Besides that, I love everything he does. Besides my voice, you like everything on the podcast?
Yeah, the audio only experience
guests,
that you
is
have.
what you're saying? The guests, the downloading it, the art.
The ideas. They must want a transcription.
All right, this is from Swim Girl 2003. I love her already.
Yeah.
Jon Gabrus is a very bad podcast man. Jon Gabrus needs to stop being a bad burping man, or someone is going to have to teach him a lesson. Wink. We will spank Mr. John's big belly and jiggle his jowls. Fix your levels, but Johnny don't know how. Teary face. Great podcast. Look forward each week. 5 stars.
That sounds like the lyrics to a song, almost.
Yeah. We will spank Mr. John's big belly and jiggle his jowls. I have no qualms about being fat. I'm openly overweight, but jowls are the fear. Jowl, like fat face, is what scares me.
Yeah, because it's something that we all have to worry about. And once it turns on you, I've often thought about the idea of, I'm in my mid-30s, and even like people that keep their stuff together, by the time you get into the 40s, it starts to go on you, and
Right.
it's just time.
Yeah, people are always like, yeah, once you hit 40, it really falls apart. I'm like, I've been falling apart since 27. God only knows what I'm going to look like when I'm 40. I'm going to be like aging in dog years.
You're gonna a freak show or
Yeah.
something.
I think
have the
jowls-
same fears.
Yeah, jowls is something that not even a beard can cover up. I use a beard to hide a lot.
I've been working on a beard as well. It's a good time at the end of the
I'm
football
enjoying
season.
it. I'm enjoying it.
You grow it in because you're not getting to the gym enough, and it's like, save me, protect me.
Protect me. Don't let anyone know how round my face is. All right, so let's get to a couple more reviews. This is from Conman75. Most people use the word dank to describe things they like now. I like this podcast, but would use the word dank in its literal sense. Disagreeably damp, musty, and typically cold to describe this podcast.
Damn.
Wow, thanks, Conman. I got to take umbrage with the word cold. I think this podcast is anything but cold.
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
Yeah. I'm warm. I'm welcoming. There's a dog. I offer water.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's like the minimum. I give you bread and water. You sit down. I don't make you stand for the whole podcast. You are doing this as a favor to me in my apartment. Wait a minute. It's not that good.
It's a little cold.
All right. This is from... hold on. Sorry. Oh, this is from DeBarge. Oh, I like it. Not El DeBarge, just DeBarge. I meant to subscribe to Doughboys. Accidentally downloaded this instead. It's self-indulgent, disorganized ramblings from Josh Groban and his useless... I think I may have read this one already. Or maybe more people have called me Josh Groban. I don't know if anyone... This is from Star Fuckboy. Jon Gabrus looks like a shaved alt-right Ewok. Love the show. Now... I love you, Star Fuckboy. That has like 3 of my favorite things in it. You call me a cuck. You call me alt-right. You say I'm an Ewok. But I think you mean Wookiee. I am a little cute and dumpy like an Ewok, but I'm 6'2".
You got. I mean, if you're gonna drop the insults, you got to get your Star Wars terminology correct.
Correct. Technically, I'm closer to a Gamorrean guard than anything else. Now, I mean, this is from a literal graveyard. Joe Goebbels is unfunny and obese. 5 stars? ? There we go.
Joe Goebbels. That's
Yeah.
funny.
This is from Hey Ryan Bailey. If you enjoy things that were recorded from a styrofoam cup connected to a piece of string into a bowl of diarrhea, this podcast is for you. That's so funny.
That's good. These are good.
Here we go. This is from San Francisco. Oh, that's like a fucking triple entendre in there. I was about 10 minutes into writing a carefully worded review that I was sure would get read on the podcast until I stopped dead in my tracks and realized that the thing I was reviewing in no way worth my time. Jon Gabrus, I want to get his name right for posterity's sake, started a podcast merely to inflate an ego fraught with character flaws that are slowly leaking the self-righteous gas that keeps him desperately afloat in life. I will not contribute to this bloated monstrosity of a show that can barely keep its head up above the horizon of podcast relevance. 5 out of 5 stars. We'll jerk off to every subsequent episode. That's a thank you, San Francisco.
Wow.
And this is the last one from Blood Flart. For the love of God, stop eating so much. Seriously, you're so fat. This has been the best week of podcasts ever because of you. We want you around a long time. Aww. Well, Blood Flart, I got some bad news, baby.
I love that you're so fat is his roast.
I know. It's just like, stop eating, you fucking fatty. I'm like, oh, is that my doctor? That could be my
Dr. Flart.
Oh, hey, Dr. Blood Flart.
Blood Flart.
Dr. Flart, Dr. Blood Flart.
Doctor.
It's from Atomic Tony. Called,
Hey, that's me.
oh, is it? Thank you for reviewing. Not that you even listen to my podcast nor how to know how to use iTunes.
No, I don't know how to use that.
His review is called It's All in His Name, and the review states in all caps, junk food overeating nerd gives all but really underwhelmed subscribers. Oh, I see. It's an acronym. It's like JONGABRUS. Junk food overeating nerd gives all but really underwhelmed subscribers.
That's pretty good.
That's really good. That's
for
my
you.
Atomic Tony. That's my favorite review so far.
I'm proud of you, Atomic Tony. And my nickname in junior high or earlier really was Anthony Atomic Dick.
Oh, because your last name is Atomic Dick.
Yeah, it is Atomic
Because,
Dick.
well, to be fair, in 4th grade, you put a uranium pellet in your urethra.
That's
And you were like,
right.
it's a urethra pellet. Urethra 238. And then it was like, wah, 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 wah.
And now I have 3 piss holes.
Now I piss in like a fucking sprinkler. It like
Piss
spins around at
Piss in the center, come on the sides.
baby. All right. Here's another review from Alex V88. No wonder John can't find a steady job. He doesn't even bother to show up to his paid gigs. Oh, Improv for Humans, San Francisco Sketchfest. Listen every week. Okay, so this guy, I missed.
Oh, what happened?
I missed the Improv for Humans show because I was stranded for 5 hours at Salt Lake City.
Really?
Yeah, coming from Sundance to go to Sketchfest.
Somebody's special.
And I got
Because
stuck
of the snow or the rain?
because
or
of the
whatever?
snow and the fucking the brakes went out on the plane. They were like, "Oh, we can." And someone was like, "You don't have to fly without brakes. Let's get the fuck off here." This one is from Apathetic Onlooker, and the title of their review is "We Are All Guilty." This podcast is a macabre window into the life of someone eating themselves to death. When host Jonathan Gayblast speaks, it sounds like ham being thrown against a wall. How will he die? Given enough time, heart disease. But more than likely, he'll go with a belt around his neck while he furiously attempts to penetrate a Taco Bell chalupa with his micro penis. His mother will ask rhetorically, "Who cares?" And the world will answer in one voice, "Not I." 5 out of 5. Keep up the good work.
All right.
Spoken like a true shithead.
Yeah. Some of them are getting really wordy. That one feels like a proclamation that you would shout from a mountaintop.
Took
And-
at least 5 minutes to write. And for that, we appreciate it. Thank you so much, buddy.
Yeah, apathetic onlooker, you put in more work for this podcast than I ever have.
Yeah, it's official.
Bad news. I mean, you know that if you're a listener.
Yeah.
Here's one from The Best Davy called What a Waste. I've never heard of a man so cognizant of his own shortcomings, yet so unwilling to seek self-improvement. 5 out of 5 stars.
No, that's great.
That is so true of me.
Let me ask you something. Did that one hurt more? Because it felt like it was a little bit, there was some truth to it, perhaps.
Well, because that's something I'm currently working on as a person is like, I know I'm overweight and I know I'm lazy and unproductive. And 2 things I really want to be are in shape and productive. And integral to survival, both career-wise and medically.
Yeah, that's true.
Argued.
Mike's going, okay, yeah, maybe.
No, I see it. I do. Okay.
So for me, I'm like, oh yeah, that hits close to home. That could be my doctor writing that.
Yeah.
Here's one. This is. Oh wait, maybe I read that one already. Arthur, chill out, blow, chill. Oh, here we go. I don't understand this review, so we'll end on this one. This is from Trevelations, and the title is Problematic Cultural Appropriation. Uh-oh. Augustus Gabrus is a real Gino, German in name only, Gino, I guess. He has turned his back on a kind and caring Teutonic heritage in favor of a cultural appropriation of his adopted Southern California home. Do not be fooled by his rusty board shorts, not the brand, a swimsuit covered in schlud, and tweed hoodie Baja. Gabrus's digressions against Deutschland go much further than fashion. He has aped the essence of underemployed, lethargic SoCal stoners at the expense of his stoic, hardworking German ancestry. 5 stars, brah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's someone who knows a lot about me because my dad is German, but I don't really ever talk about that. I mostly just identify as some fucking Long Island douchebag. And then they say things like, and the fact they referenced schlud, which is like an inside joke from my bachelor party. I feel
What the
but maybe
fuck
I've
is
said it
going
out loud.
on?
Maybe I've said it out loud on the podcast before. But schlud is like a weird inside joke from.
What about Augustus?
Augustus, I guess, is a very German name. Is
Yeah.
maybe the reference they're going to
okay.
there. Yeah, I don't know.
How many do you read?
20, 25? No, I'm kidding. Just a couple. You already want to get out of here. You haven't even listened to the fucking podcast. This is from Decanian, High and Mighty, ? More like Guy and Whitey. Jon Gabrus sets aside an hour every week to blast your ear holes with East Coast bravado and finds a way to not stop talking but say absolutely nothing. This is the only podcast you can find where the host's audio is consistently fine and you can never hear the guests, making it a real trip to listen to. If you consider walking down the street a trip, 5 stars, love this garbage.
So they give you the 5 stars.
Yeah, they don't have to. This pattern that's developed because I read them, other people know what people are saying. So people have all started adding 5 stars, never miss an episode as like a tag at the end, which I feel like is like a holdover from some other Earwolf listener thread. I don't know.
Have you ever met these fans? Have you done a live episode of this?
I did a live episode in Austin, and it was people were mostly there for Jake and Amir. I was like, "Who here is listening to High and Mighty?" And no one in the crowd cheered. I'm like, "You're sitting through a podcast that you've never even heard before, just so they could have a seat for Jake and Amir."
Who did you interview?
Gil Ozeri.
Got it.
We talked South by South. I'm going to be doing a live show at South by Southwest. Thanks for the plug.
Of course, that's why I was doing it.
Obviously,
I know that.
I was wondering why you're going. Tell them. I'm going to be in South by Southwest March 11th at the North Door at 5 p.m. I'm paired with Twinnovation, but I think you can try to get tickets for all the shows and just hang out, post up, drink beers, and watch a bunch of HeadGum shows.
Who are you interviewing there?
I'm not positive yet. That'll be a secret surprise guest, which means I have to book someone ASAP. Wow. Okay, this is from Ask Johnny. The title is The Best Twins. Okay, I have a feeling I know where this is going. Wow, this podcast has a great set of characters, beginning with Mike Carnell taking the lead and also one half of the Rosenberg twins. The idea behind this podcast is one of the, oh, wait, I clicked on the wrong podcast. I don't even know how the guy from Guy Code has his own show. He mails it in on Guy Code, so I guess it kind of makes sense why this podcast is the way it is. Great show, I guess.
He doesn't understand how podcasts work. Because anyone could have a podcast.
Right.
And he's saying, I don't know how you have one.
Yeah, I guess he should say, I don't know why I listen to it.
Yes.
Like, it's his fault. Like, no one, I love, these reviews are really funny because it's like, they
seem like they're being forced to listen.
Yeah.
Those are all long. That one at the bottom, Jesus Christ.
All right, let's see how this is the last one right here we'll do. I don't know if I read this one, but it's from Brian is Tired, and the title is Jon and Gabrus Podcast with Jim Grabass. Juan would change the cover image of this podcast to a picture of himself firing diarrhea out like a water cannon as he jerks off to himself in the mirror with one hand and slurps down wings with the other, while a guest sits in stunned silence. I can only foresee Johan getting more self-indulgent as the show goes on until he's pre-recording himself and then talking over it for an hour and a half. There are rumors Jon tried this once, but just like his normal guests, at 30 minutes in, he thought about killing himself just so he didn't have to hear that fat guinea anymore. In all seriousness, Jon is hilarious, and his open nature and sincerity are why. Oh, blah blah blah.
You got to read. No, you got to read that.
Yeah,
You
his
gotta-
sincerity is why we love him. 5 out of 5 stars. P.S. Did anyone call you and your brothers the Gabrus family growing up? Oh shit, this guy must know me from high school. So here we go. This is from Jesus H. Dix. Those who can't do and can't teach. Jon Gabrus's enthusiasm does not match his execution. Claims to be into fitness, weighs 300 pounds. Claims to love dogs, has a pet rat. Claims to be an actor, but the only actor I've ever seen him do is a cameo as a drunk idiot finding a corpse in fake viral video on Bones. The dead body was fake. The deadbeat persona was very, very real. At least he's had 2 podcast episodes entitled Being Fat. He's really good at that. In the words of Dr. Temperance Brennan, Angela, give it a thumbs up. I find imbeciles amusing. Okay, Jesus H. Dix.
Wait, you have a pet rat?
Yeah, I guess they mean my little Boston Terrier. Or maybe that is a little bit of fiction for the sake of the roast.
Oh.
I do like the shout out of my Bones cameo. In the 15 years of me hustling trying to do comedy, I'm glad that my recent Bones cold open credit.
Nice.
That's like the shit that you do, and then you're like, that's what your aunt sees. Did you do Bones? How come you didn't say? I'm like, you didn't watch any of my True TV channel shows.
For a very long time, credit that people would use, even though I had other credits, mostly Talking Heads. I think we're both in that same category.
Lots of credits, little bit of money.
Yeah, and but I have other TV credits, and every now and then someone would use Jimmy Kimmel, and people would be like, "Oh," like assuming I did stand up on it. I'm like, no, I don't know why it's still out there, but in like the early 2000s, I was in a sketch, no words. I just pick up a tray of food and walk away from Mick Foley, the wrestler. I mean, I'm like a child. Like and people would put, and I'm like, stop it. Stop. Like it's not a credit.
Yeah, that's how I feel like when my IMDb for a long time was Late Night with Conan O'Brien, where I did one sketch, and then this sketch video I did with a friend called MILF Solicitors, which was like a MILF Hunters parody. So my 2 credits, like in parentheses, it would say like Conan O'Brien, comma, MILF Solicitors. I was like, I need to get more work. And I still haven't. All right, let's see some more. Here's a quick review from the Hot Dog Whisperer. The title is Bad Job, and the comment is Step It Up, 5 stars.
Cool.
Okay, simple. That's all you need. All right, here we go. Here's another quick one from Chalk Talk. Jon Gabrus is like a fat Richard Spencer with worse ideas. Hashtag punch a fatsy. Okay.
Right.
Oh, man, some of these just plain hurt. I love Richard Spencer's haircut, I guess is the best I could say about a modern neo-Nazi. Lock the Gate. This is from Nathan the Brown. John Galadriel from The Fuzz is trying so hard to be Mark Maron, but he can't even grow a mustache. Not true. John Gimli went from making millions as an actor, just like Mark, not true, to now podcasting in his house with his cats, Arthur and Tiffany, who he married, ? And just like Maron, he talks about Judaism too much. Nice try, John Gandalf, but you're not Mark Maron. This is from someone named Nova Scody, and the review is titled, I Love Jon Gemberling. There's something really gross about this podcast. I feel like I'm sharing a toilet seat with him. Thank you, Nova Scody. A big recurring thing is confusing me with Jon Gemberling. I think people find that to be very funny.
And I bet both you and him love that.
Yeah, we love that, especially if since we have the exact same reps.
Yeah.
That's always a good time. When I go, did you go out for this audition? He's like, yeah. I'm like, did you get it? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, I guess I didn't.
Yeah, did you get roasted by my fans on Twitter? Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. This is from Sunaki36. Title of it is 5-star Fatso. And the review is, the roast is, fat, love the show, listen every week, heart emoji.
I mean, that's barely a roast.
That's barely a roast. That is just using an apt descriptive word a number of times. It is like the vocabulary of a Donald Trump, though, where
Sure.
it's like, I learned I'm happy. This person clearly wanted to give me 5 stars, wanted to respond to what I begged the audience to do.
Right.
But didn't have it in them to come up with a... Tsunaki 36 didn't have it in them to come up with too mean of a roast.
And it ends in genuine niceties.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. Call yourself a Gamorrean guard again, Dr. Original reference by Wrecked Hog. Ron Torbus is a plus-size model who invites talented people to sit in front of him while he screams incoherently about pop culture things that only fat man babies enjoy. Ooh. Tune and find out if he can go 10 minutes without mentioning Long Island or his weight. Now is the point when we're supposed to be sincere and say that we actually like this podcast. I just can't bring myself to unsubscribe. I feel bad for the poor slob. 5 stars.
Oh, wow. So he was trying to turn the whole sincerity thing on its head. He was like, I'm seeing the Matrix on this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the one that's like, no.
I won't even... I didn't ask them to ever get sincere. As a matter of fact, I don't want it to be sincere. I want it to be... I mean, I guess I want it to be sincerely mean.
Well, this guy's defying the thing that you don't want.
Fuck, dude, he wins.
He alone.
I do like the term plus-size model. I think that would be my other career if I blew up as an actor. I think I would also be in, like, big and tall men's magazines.
Wait,
like.
you think that would be your if you blew up as an actor?
I would
you
also pick up
be
as a side
plus-size
job.
model?
I would be
like if you got a really prestige. If you were like a well-known actor.
Yeah, if
you
I
would
was
be
on
like
season 9 through 10,
a Sears insert in the Sunday.
Fingers crossed.
Next to Parade magazine.
I'll hopefully be a senior citizen plus-size model and make a bunch of money. Those things.
Such a niche. There's one guy. All the other senior citizen plus-size model, male plus-size models, like I hate Harold. Don't you hate Harold?
The only thing that's more specific, like the only thing that specific helps in is pornography. Like pornography is like people search like plus size 65 plus Italian, you know.
We meet again, Sal.
Yeah, like you ever do like? Never mind. Let's not get into search terms. All right, here's one from Dingus Khan called "Made Me Rethink My Life." Jon Gabrus breaks down modern life and gives a scathing tongue-in-cheek impression of an uninformed white male in the 21st century. Once you understand that he's playing a character who's not only fat, loud, smoking weed hourly, but also quick to spit racial slurs, you can appreciate the nuances of the character that really dig deep into how pitiful and disgusting the modern man is today. Make me reconsider my life, and now I can say I'm a better person for having gleaned an outside perspective on what other people see of me. Thanks, John. Your mirror to society teaches us all to be better. 5 stars.
The
that was
positive
interesting.
part is really starting to mutate and become its own thing.
Well, that was like I like what he did. Like he did like a fake positive, but really it was like This is a you can't triple stamp a double stamp. All right, this is by C. Sherman 2197, and it is Fat Man Tries to Be Funny. Already so original. If you're 13 and you want to be a rebel and listen to an obese Jew chew into a microphone while his friends sit there and be polite, then this is the perfect podcast for you. One listen and you will need to immediately turn it off because the majority of the episodes are either host Joe Gabrus laughing at himself or 2 bears having sex. It's really hard to tell. He gets out of breath reading these reviews, which is depressing for his doctor, lungs, and family. Wow.
Did he say you're a Jew because you're from Long Island? What?
He said I was a Jew because he knew that was the meanest thing you could say about someone.
He knew it was gonna hurt you, like so, like right to the core.
Imagine that's the only thing I'm not a Jew. What the fuck? Come on, guys, take these roasts seriously. I'm not a goddamn Jew. Thank you, sponsors. No, babe, I love the Jews.
I know. You're honorary being from Long Island.
I'm a fucking Long Island Jew.
That's right.
All right, this is... Oh, shit. This review is from My Gyro the Zero, and it's called a raw deal. Okay, so like I said, we had a porch session before we got on. So you had some tequila, and I may have smoked a palm leaf blunt of Blue Dream, baby. I'm high. She's mighty. Okay, this is from My Gyro the Zero. It's called The Raw Deal. And the review is, an odd mix of alt-right tweets and downvoted bodybuilding.com forum posts read from inside a mall food court. 5 out of 5. Never miss an episode. Wait, hold on. This is my favorite review I've ever had.
When was the last time you ate in a mall court?
What?
Like the mall. Like when was the last time you ate in a food court at a mall?
I don't know. Not in a long time.
Does that make you sad?
What? That I haven't been to one in a while?
Yeah.
That I haven't had free bourbon chicken?
Yeah,
from
like you can get a
Walk
little
City?
sample or like some bullshit pizza.
Yes, Tiff. It makes me sad that I haven't been to. No, it would be sadder if I had been to a mall food court recently. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
What am I doing in a mall? It's shitty. I'm returning a gift that someone gave me. It's most
Beverly Center's amazing.
The Beverly Center is stressful as fuck. It's everything's so far and constantly under construction.
Goddamn nightmare.
Babe, let's break down this. Review. An odd mix of alt-right tweets and downvoted bodybuilding.com forum posts. Tell me that's not a funny blend right there.
It's funny. It's one of the smarter ones. I feel like sometimes they're really mean. Sometimes they're accurate.
Yeah, well, those sometimes overlap big time.
Yeah. And when they're accurate, it's like it hurts more.
It hurts. Of course, it hurts more when someone says something that's truthfully negative about you.